Thanks, Adam. Thanks, Greg, Brian, Octavio, for having us here tonight. And I am from Maine. I grew up there. My family is still there. And, you know, I mean, I think part of why Maine is important is especially because of what happened in California last year. And I think everyone should think back about Thursday after the election, after we calmed down from the Obama win, we found out that we'd lost in California and we'd lost rights. Like, people had rights and they were taken away. That never happens in America, but it happened in California. This year, the Maine legislature passed the same-sex marriage bill. I'll never forget the day it happened in the Maine legislature. My sister Sharon was up in the legislature texting me, even though she wasn't supposed to, and she texted that the state senate had just passed the bill, and then the state senate president walked by and said, we're bringing it down to the governor's office. And our governor in Maine is a guy named John Baldacci. He used to be a member of Congress. He's, you know, kind of a conservative Democrat from the northern part of the state, very Catholic, big Italian family, although one of his sisters is a lesbian. And John got that bill, and my mother, who is a 73-year-old Irish Catholic woman who goes to Mass every day, was calling the governor to say, sign that bill. And the governor signed the bill. And no sooner had they signed it than the Catholic Church, led by Bishop Richard Malone, began a campaign to start the repeal. In Maine, we can vote on everything. We vote all the time. You can repeal laws. It's called the People's Veto. And that's what we're dealing with right now. This is a top-notch campaign being run in Maine. It's like the best of the best are running it. Our campaign manager is a guy named Jesse Connolly. He's won 3 statewide races. He knows how to run a campaign. The people who are doing the media are excellent. They're not taking anything for granted. Unlike what happened in California where ads would go unanswered or they didn't have a good media strategy, they're on the ad right now with people, with a couple of ads. Anytime the other side comes up with one of their hateful ads and they're trying to make people think that gays are, you know, kids are going to be indoctrinated in schools about gay marriage, they come back and they smack them back. But they're also running very positive ads with people from Maine saying, we're not like that in this state. And people in Maine really aren't like that. I have a friend who writes at a blog called Dirigo Blue, and he kind of describes Maine as liberal libertarianism. It's basically, it's a progressive state, and people live who they are and do what they want to do. So the online community has been amazing in helping with Maine this year. We've surpassed $1 million on Act Blue. There are very few campaigns that have done that. And the money you're giving, like cheap date, if we hit $1,000, you're buying a day of radio in the whole state. In the whole state of Maine, you can buy the radio for a day. It's really not that expensive. And every dollar we make tonight and other fundraisers people are doing are really going to make a difference. So I can't thank you enough. I mean, I was in Maine last weekend, and I was really kind of overwhelmed by the level of support from people I didn't expect it from. My family had a fundraiser. I mean, starting with my mother. I mean, let me tell you, 20 years ago, she would not have been in that room. But she was not only there, she's talking to her friends. She's figuring out which masses to go to so she doesn't have to do the special collection and listen to the bishop's message. And people of her age are really angry and upset that they even have to vote on this. The world is a different place, I'd like to think, than in Maine than it was in California last year. They don't have Mormons up there, so we don't have to worry about that. We just have the Catholic Church. And I have to give a big shout out to Jeremy Hooper, who he slices and dices what the other side is doing before they even know they've done it. He's great, and I can't thank Jeremy enough. Adam has been great. John Aravosis, my colleague at AMERICAblog, has been very supportive in writing and helping. So we're going to keep banging the drum. I'm going to go up at the end of the month. Jenna Lowenstein was just there for a week from Stonewall Democrats helping out, and had a very good time.
That's
drinking
great.
Pumpkin beer. So I can't thank you enough. If you have any questions, you can ask me now or you can ask me later.
The election's when?
The election is November 3rd, Tuesday, November 3rd. Maine is one of these states, has a very, you know, it's hard to say. The polling right now is pretty close. It all depends on turnout. And that's why it's really important that our campaign operation has is the best people in the state running the turnout operation. We'll find our votes and we'll get them there. It's really great that the election is November, not next June, because we can get all the college vote. Those are our votes. We just have to get them. Maine has very liberal voting laws. Voting is encouraged in Maine, and you can actually register to vote on the same day as the election. So,
Joe, why does this matter to the other 49 states?
you know what? Because we've never won one of them, TJ, and we're coming off this loss in California, And for all those of us who watched the president tonight, the political people in this town, you're all from this town. We watched the president on that TV, and you know, they have not been great. They look at the polls, they look at the numbers, they look at what's happening. I was at an event a couple weeks ago, and Barney Frank was there, and he's actually being very helpful in Maine. I know he's a curmudgeon about a lot of stuff going on right now, to put it nicely. But you know, he said that he thinks a win in Maine will help give them impetus to push some of their legislation they're doing right now. So, you know, there's an old saying, as Maine goes, so goes the nation. I like to believe it's going to be true on this one, too. So, thank you all.